Welcome to part 3 of my progressive build of a very casual summoner witch in Path of Exile 2, my friends. Yes, I heard of the nerfs, I heard of the nerf bad patch that just hit the game, and I'm not happy about it because I was getting excited about trying other builds. I was hearing all about the auto-cast, auto-bomber sorceress with all these comets and cast on freeze and all that stuff, and now I know it's all nerfed to the ground, so unfortunately it's not something for me now to look forward to, and therefore for you to look forward to my version of that build. But hopefully we'll come up with something more exciting. So back to this witch. Looks like they've also done something to Raging Spirits. I am not a number cruncher. I'm not one of those people who spend hours and hours in the game and all these formulas and stuff. I'm not. But at the same time, I go off a feel of it, and I think that Raging Spirits now somehow are capped in terms of how often they're allowed to be spawned from using fire skills. So before, I used to cast a Flame Wall, I have 5 Raging Spirits, I used to cast another Flame Wall, I was getting another bunch of Raging Spirits. Now it looks like getting to that number of Raging Spirits is a little slower. I could be mistaken, please feel free to correct me in the comments down below, just don't be snarky with me, and it will be alright for both of us. So, the gems and skills. Don't worry about discipline. I am using a scepter now that has discipline built into it. It gives me extra energy shield. It's supposed to be providing a defensive layer, but by the way, straight away, inspired by the other builds, inspired by what other pros are saying, I do think that in this game so far, it's better to kill them before they kill you. We simply do not have enough points, enough time, enough speed of progression to accumulate those points to put into the passive skill tree everywhere to build defensive layers too well. So what do we have to work with? A handful of points that have to be invested into what? Into damage, my man, into damage. So I am respeccing now. I spent already all my gold. I had thousands, now I have 400. I am basically putting all into damage, and that's where I would like to encourage you to go. So don't worry about freaking discipline. It's there just by the virtue of being there. It doesn't matter. The core of this build now is Raging Spirits, which, like I said, after the nerf patch, feels like are not being summoned as frequently as they used to, but I can still work with it. Raging Spirits get summoned when a fire spell is used. My vehicle for this summon is Flame Wall. Flame Wall hits hard-ish at my level, as well as it allows me freedom of movement. It's an instant cast. I don't need to stand there and channel Incinerate. I don't need to stand there and channel Bone Storm. Well, Bone Storm is in this build, but I don't need to rely on it too much all the time. All I need to do is throw a few Flame Walls, Raging Spirits get summoned, stay out of trouble, they kill everything. That is the core of the gameplay of this build and how I'm pivoting it. And now, obviously, I'm going towards building up the damage and building up fire damage. So that is essentially where this is it right now. Just in terms of my capping of the spirit and all that kind of stuff, I've reduced the number of skeletal arsonists to only 2, but I still think that they are nice. It's nice to have company. If nothing else, it's all about the feel of the game as well as the gameplay and efficiency. Raging Spirits kill stuff, arsonists help with ignites, and arsonists occasionally also help with the explosive demise ability, which is the command attack for them. When there are ignites, when they mark certain things with those little glowy orbs, you can also add to this whole carnage with explosive demise explosion. That's it. Now, from yourself, for yourself, I still think that as a witch standing there, it's insufficient to just rely on Raging Spirits. It's just not enough of damage output, especially now that they're a bit reluctant for summon. Somehow, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. First I dropped Bone Storm and now I put it back in. So first of all, any projectiles that penetrate Flame Wall, they ignite. So those projectiles that go through your Flame Wall, they will also hit with extra fire damage, or at least I believe so. I believe that Bone Storm does that. Again, not a number cruncher, hey? But it does seem to hit harder if I am fortunate enough to put a Flame Wall, Raging Spirits are summoned and doing their dirty work, and I'm also hitting from behind hard with Bone Storm, as long as I'm not interrupted, because Bone Storm obviously is a channel skill, so it's not as easy to use to a to sufficient amount of DPS. But basically, Flame Wall, Skeletal Arsonists for company, Bone Storm for individual contribution, and Raging Spirits is where it's at. Raging Spirits is where the main damage is. Throw Flame Walls, summon Raging Spirits, don't die. Passive skill tree. Let's have a look at this. I respect a few times, and here is what I've done. It's very, very freaking simple. I'm, like I said, inspired by Rax, inspired by other pros from Maxroll who are talking about just going damage. Damage, damage, damage. So it's all damage. It's minion increased damage, it's minion increased damage, increased spell damage for myself a little bit. Yes, thank you very much. But mainly it's attack speed, speed damage, their damage, that's it. I am retracting from this branch right now. So I will show it to you right in the game. I used to have minions revive faster. I gain 2% life. Too slow, insufficient. I would rather die a couple of times to one-shot, being one-shotted by the bosses, but I would rather my minions eat them all up. So I am taking, as soon as I get money, I take this stuff back from this branch. I used to have a lot more here, and I'm simply going all the way up, boosting my intelligence in the process, as you can see, unlocking one jewel socket, don't have anything yet to put into it, and then I'm going hard here into boosting fire damage for my flame wall, obviously, and for my raging spirits that have some portion at least of fire damage in them. They are not all fire. I think they're converting physical into fire. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, and for beginners it wouldn't make any difference. They still hit hard and they get the job done. That's what I'm currently doing. That is in case you need inspiration. Currently level 22 in Act 2, not rushing, completely taking, sort of taking my time, not particularly in a rush to finish this game or anything. Plus, I was exploring when all these nerfs hit the game a couple of days ago now. I have tried very, very hard to explore what other inspiring, not just for content, not just for here, but for myself, what other inspiring builds do I have? And I was looking at Sorceress. Now I'm looking at Lightning Arrow Ranger, as I think everyone does who now is disappointed with that cast on freeze not working anymore. But don't worry, especially if you are interested, and especially if you talk to me in the comments down below and you say, Gyro, we still want continuation of this Journey of the Witch. I'm not a mind reader, you need to tell me and you need to give me your likes. I will continue this journey, slow and steady, we're gonna get there. Summon Raging Spirits, Bone Storm, Flame Wall. Good luck, tune in next time. We will be talking about this at least once a week, but I think more often than that. So thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you next time.